Hello.
Hey, good evening, Rossmery. How are you
Good
tonight?
evening. I'm great. Thank you. I had to go and get a
Awesome.
sweater real quick,
Okie dokie.
but I'm here.
You're here. Amen.
I'm
Great.
here.
Good to have you here.
All right.
Ah,
Yeah, it's a little bit cool. Not as cold as it is in North America and in Canada, I hear, but
well, today was this morning we woke up, it was minus 31 Celsius. Like, I don't know what that converts into Fahrenheit, but it was dang cold.
that sounds like very cold. I think that's,
But
I don't
the
know.
bonus, but we had wonderful sunshine all day, and that makes a big difference, having the sunshine. Yeah. Because even if
Yeah.
you're out and about, you feel a bit of the sun, the heat. If you're driving in the vehicle, yeah. If you're sitting in the car, yeah, you notice the sun. Because it's getting warmer now too, the sun. So yeah.
So I'm in 63-degree weather. So you guys would probably be wearing shorts and a tank top.
I would be. Yes, 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 yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah, it would be a given.
So, all right, let's start. Let's start and see who else joins in.
Okay,
The first
sounds like
question
a
is going
plan.
to be, is there anybody that's new here that's never been um, on this onboarding call? Because depending on that, I'll switch it up as far as the format. Um, or has everybody heard the onboarding? Has everybody? Yes. So we're all
I'm Yeah, I would say looking at who's here right now, Rossmary, they've all heard the onboarding. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So then I guess we can go through it really quick, and then if there are any questions or comments, because sometimes this helps as well when we're trying to help somebody else make the decision. Sometimes we answer those questions here, just so, because some people have questions and it's something that we can't answer, and a lot of the times we answer it here. So let's start with the reasoning, why the liver reset. We've heard it. It is responsible for over 500 functions in the body. It's our filter. It's our baseline. It's not our largest organ, but it's one of the most important organs that we have because everything that goes to the liver is processed, and it's our gatekeeper. It's the one that decides what stays and what leaves. Okay, and a lot of the times when we feel symptoms come up, and a lot of the symptoms can come up in very many ways. My husband's came up as alopecia, but some symptoms are high blood pressure. Some symptoms are diabetes of an overloaded system. So that's why we start with the liver because I feel like that's the beginning. And at times we try to treat high blood pressure, we'll try to treat the diabetes, but nobody has ever really said, why don't we treat the organ that's really responsible for letting everything in and distributing, right? Because the liver absorbs everything. The heart doesn't absorb the lotions that we put on. It doesn't absorb the chemicals, that we touch on, even at a restaurant. You can touch the table and there's chemicals, there's Clorox. Um, the digestive system doesn't even absorb that. Everything is absorbed by the liver. That's why it's such an important organ to take care of first. Many times when we take care of our liver, it trickles down and it kind of balances everything out. I'm not saying that's the case every time, but a lot of times it is. In our case, for my husband, for his alopecia, he didn't go the steroid route. He didn't take any meds. He said, "Let me just take care of one of my most important organs," and his hair grew back. I'm not saying that the liver is going to cure alopecia, but that's all he did. We didn't do anything else different. One of the doctors, we went to many doctors to see who would give us an answer on how to treat it without having to go through medicine. And one of the things that he said that was very interesting is that my husband's levels were very low of vitamins. And my husband's always about his vitamins. He's always like he's very healthy, low body fat percentage. He eats healthy. He takes all the supplements, and the fact that that was low, it meant that his body was not absorbing none of these nutrients well. He was low in every vitamin possible. So he said, "Well, go ahead and take care of your main filter, and then let's see if you can start absorption." So that's why to us, The liver to me is you work on the liver, and then also this is a place where you can prepare the ground. When you are gonna plant, I don't know how many gardeners we have here, but I learned this, when I started my garden, it kind of taught me a lot of things. You have to prepare the soil. You have to prepare the soil. You'll have to you make sure. So this is the liver, what it's doing, it's preparing us for what's to come, for the world of glycans. Maybe you're absorbing glycans now and they're working well in your body, but they would work so much better if your organ, if your liver, if your processor, your engine is working correctly. So all we're doing is preparing the ground for what's to come. So how do we do that? The first 10 days are going to be mostly, the first 10 days is really when all the cleansing occurs. Okay, I know it's 21 days, but the first 10 days are very crucial. That's why on day 3, 4, 5, people start getting headaches because we're detoxing from a lot of things. The body slowly starts, kind of, the liver is clogged. So it slowly starts to take out all these toxins, so that's why days 1 through 10 are crucial. And that's why days 3, 4, 5 is when people start getting better. But 3 and 4, they're just like, I feel really crappy. Well, yeah, all these toxins are being released, right? But because we have glycans, they help us get the toxin and, have them exit the body. So that's why the 21-day liver reset paired with the supplements that we use that's the only way. You can't just do this diet alone. You can, but it's not going to be as effective because glycans are necessary to get rid of all of the toxins. Okay. So, yeah, days 1 through 10. Now, on day 10, you might feel a shift. And day 10, people say they feel tired, they feel low energy. I don't know what it is about day 10, but it's usually when the liver's just kind of almost done, removing all these toxins. And the reason it's removing it, it's not really that it's removing it, but because the liver is resting, it gives it a chance to catch up. The liver every day, it wakes up between 1 to 3 a.m. and it starts cleansing, right? And then sometimes we don't give it a chance. We wake up in the morning and boom, we usually have the coffee, we'll have pancakes and syrup, think of it now that I've done this several times. I always think of my liver first thing in the morning. I'm like, what am I going to do to optimize my health throughout the day? The first thing is not going to be a coffee. First thing is not going to be pancakes, sausage, and syrup. Think of it. The liver just came out of cleanse mode and boom. It's like you wash a dog and then it goes out there and starts, going around the dirt and and in the grass, what I mean? This is so in the morning, what do I have is this is not lemon water, but I'll have my lemon water and sea salt. Because that's the first thing. We're like, okay, it's been removing toxins. Let's give our body a flush. The lemon in the water is going to activate the bile, so that's why we have lemon water and sea salt first thing in the morning. Okay, and then optional but very highly recommended is going to be the celery juice, and it's going to be celery juice by itself, not with the pulp. And some people say, well, I want the fiber, but that's it. It changes what it does in your body. When you just have the juice, the celery juice, the salt clusters go in there and they start flushing your liver. If you have it with the pulp, it has a completely different mechanism. Then it's going to be more digestive fiber. So really what we want is if you don't have a juicer, I highly recommend you get one because this celery juice is something that we have adopted into our lifestyle every day. But if you're not going to do that, then at least get a blender, but get a nut bag and make sure you only have the celery juice. Okay. So you're going to have lemon water and sea salt, 30 minutes later, your celery juice. And then you're going to have your breakfast, which is a high protein, low carb, and no filler. I love our protein. It's amazing. Amazing. The ingredients are so good. It doesn't have any ingredients in there that are going to mess with your system. So you're going to have that with half a cup of strawberries or half a cup of blueberries because those are low GI, or you can mix them. Maybe you want a mixture of I love mine with strawberries. That's my favorite. I'll have the blueberry, but strawberries is just, I love the shake in the morning. Okay. So you're going to have that and then you're going to be hydrating. Okay. As far as water intake, very important because your toxins, all that gunk that's coming out of our body needs an exit. It's going to exit through urine, through sweat. So a lot of times when people are really uncomfortable, many times it's low hydration. So you get your weight, you divide that by 2. Those are the ounces you should be taking, and then you add 10 because we are cleansing. you add 10. So for example, I weigh 140. Okay, it's going to be 70 ounces plus the 10. So I have to have 80 ounces of water every day. All right. And you can count the ounces that you take from True Cleanse. You can count those ounces as water. Okay. So that's days 1 through 10. And then we start with the repair phase, which is days 11 through 21. This is when we're going to start introducing animal fats. And before I actually, not animal fats, animal protein and fats. But before I get into that, I do want to say that the reason days 1 through 10 and this whole reset is the same foods is because we're on a not a mono food, mono diet, but they're mono meals. It's the same meal every single day. Okay. Mono food is when it's one food. Like let's say you're going to have a banana every single day. There's people that do that. Or like elimination diets, they'll have one food the whole day. Here, it's not going to be one food. It's meals. And it's the same meal because now your liver knows what bile to produce, how many enzymes. It gives consistency to the liver. So that's why it gives it a rest. It doesn't have to process extra spices, sauces. And there are many things that are healthy for us. So a lot of the questions I get are, can I add this or can I put this? This is so good for you. There's many things that are good for us. But because we're on very simplistic, minimalistic meals, then less is always going to be more. I only season my stuff with salt. That's it. Sea salt. I don't even put pepper. Once in a while, I'll use paprika, which is fine. And then there's certain seasonings that we can use, and I'll go that on days 11 to 21. So that's why we're always eating the same thing. It gives your liver consistency. It knows what to expect. Days 11. Now, usually when you incorporate the chicken, the body freaks out just a little bit, but it's normal because think about it. It's been 10 days with the same meal. Now you just added an extra ingredient, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that you're in repair phase. Now we're going to get the body into, okay, let's put some more protein in this. Now, if you are plant-based, there's a plant-based diet as well, and it just increases the protein. All right. You're going to give your body a little bit more combination. Because think about this. Let's say you go through days 1 through 10, because people say, well, why don't we just do 10 days since that's when you detox? But then you go back to your old habits. Your body's going to go into shock because it's been resting for 10 days. That's why days 11 through 21 are very important because the transition is very important because you want long-term results, right? So days 11 to 21, same, your morning's going to look the same. Lemon and water with lemon, sea salt. People always ask me how much. Mine is always this thing, I think is 24 ounces. This is what I take when I do my lemon water. It's 24 ounces. You can do, if you can't handle that much water, you can do the 8 ounces, or I see some people do a cup, but think about it. You just woke up. You want to just flush everything out. You want to just, you know what I mean? It's like when you bathe. We bathe on the outside. This is like me bathing on the inside. It's like I'm giving my organs a shower. So I love this. I love a big, and I've done it both ways. So a lot of things that I will talk about today is just things that I've done on my own that I feel have better results, right? So I feel like when I have more water in my morning water, I just have better results on the reset all the time. I mean, this has been this has been the second reset that I've done like this, and I really love it. Okay, so lemon water and sea salt, then again, the celery juice. Okay, celery juice amounts, it could be 8 ounces. You have to work up to it. I can tolerate up to 30 ounces of celery juice without a problem. But if I would have done it at the beginning, I would have been very uncomfortable in the bathroom. Okay, so you have to work up to it. So 8 ounces is a good start. Now, my norm is 16. I'll do 16 ounces of celery juice, okay, in the mornings. 30 minutes later, because I needed the celery just to do its thing, I'm gonna have my breakfast. Okay, so for people, you shouldn't be hungry because you're having a lot of liquids, you're having the celery. I don't get hungry. Sometimes I have to wait and push my breakfast to 10 because it's a lot, with the water and then the celery juice. I feel very full. So I'll have my breakfast with that is the shake and the strawberries, okay, with water, no nut milks or anything like that. Now for lunch, you're going to start incorporating and you know what? I just realized I skipped the whole meal from days 1 through 10. Let me backtrack. So after lunch, you're gonna have a salad, arugula, avocado, tomato, and onions. Okay. You can, if you don't like tomatoes, you can take them out. If you don't like onions, you could take those out. If you need a warmer salad because of the cold weather, you can saute the tomatoes with the onions and just put it on arugula. You can do that. So remember, I don't change the ingredients. I just change, you can change the form, but it's still the same ingredients. So you can go and play with it. 'Cause a lot of people say it's cold weather, I want something warm. You can do that. You can saute it, put it on the salad. Arugula is my first choice because the liver really loves it. Bitter green. It's one of the most liver friendly leaves out there. But if you don't have arugula, or if you don't like it, or it's too bitter, then mix it up with some spinach, leafy greens. You don't want iceberg lettuce. Anything once the greens start getting really light, it's not going to be. I mean, there's no nutritional value. So make sure that but the arugula is just really good. You guys can look that up, arugula and liver, and it'll give you all the benefits. It's like I said, it's one of its favorites. Okay. After the salad, then you can have as a snack, you can have hummus with baby carrots, or you can have the hummus with cucumbers. You can have the hummus with celery sticks. Also, chia seeds are allowed, and the chia seeds can be very versatile. You can use them, you can put them in your cleanse to make it, give you a little bit more feeling of fullness. You can put the chia seeds in your true cleanse. I like to put them on my salads because a lot of the times, like since I'm having that salad at lunch, it will keep me full the whole time. And then I'll snack way less. I'll only have the 3 tablespoons of the hummus. I don't need any more because I'll put the chia seeds. So chia seeds will keep you full on for a longer period of time. It's great. It's got omegas. It's got the fiber. It's got me. And chia seeds are they have so many benefits. So then you're going to have your snack. And then for dinner, you have a choice of either lentils or quinoa with veggies. My favorite is I've done both. My favorite's always lentils. It's just my favorite. Now, for those of you that say, lentils don't really go well with me, like I get bloated, I sprout mine. I sprout a ton because I'll cook, for a couple of days, at least 5 days. I sprout mine for 36 hours. Okay. So I just wait. I think last time it was about 30. I wait till it gets the little tail. I call it little tail, little sprout. Once I see it open, that little thing pops out, I cook them. And it's going to take out, a lot of the elements that'll cause bloating. It's going to help you digest them better. I cook mine thoroughly. Okay. Some people like hard lentils. I don't like that because it's really hard on my digestive system. So I cook my lentils. I mean, I don't blend them, but they're very cooked. All right. And in your lentils, you can put, if you want, you can put onions, you can put carrots, not overload it, but you can. And then the only seasonings on that I use are going to be sea salt and a little bit paprika. And I do put a little bit of olive oil in my lentils. And I've tried it both ways with and without oil, and it doesn't make a difference in my results. So, you know, so it's up to you. But I like it with a little bit of oil. It just gives it a different texture. Okay. And then if you're still hungry after lentils, and you're still just starving, you can have another shake, no fruit, just a shake, water with shake. Okay. Try not to eat 3 hours before you go to bed because you want your body focusing on cleansing and not on digesting. All right. So if you're going to have the extra shake, make sure it's 3 hours before bedtime. Very important. If you're hydrating and all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, I've only had 20 ounces of water and I need to have 80. And then you start drinking 60 hours or 60 ounces of water at 6 o'clock in the evening. That's not good. I'd rather you be dehydrated than lose sleep. Sleep is very important for the liver, for the reset. Very important. I personally, everybody needs different times. I need 8 hours of sleep since forever, since I was a kid. I know like if I get less, I can feel it. So I need 8 hours. So I time myself. I know when I wake up and then I'm like, okay, I want to get my full night's sleep. And that's going to be the success. It's a huge success or part of your success in the reset. All right. All right. Now let's fast forward again, go to the 11 through 21. Now is your repair phase and it's going to be the same lemon and water and sea salt, celery juice, your smoothie. Your salad's going to be exactly the same, except now you're going to add chicken. Okay, for women, 4 to 6 ounces. For men, 6 to 8 ounces of chicken. All right. Salt, you can put a little paprika. Um, you can put it in the air fryer. You can grill it. You don't want fried chicken. Okay. Sometimes I feel like I don't need to say that, but I've been asked. No fried chicken. All right. It could be air fried, but and I mix mine up. Sometimes I'll put in the air fryer, sometimes I'll grill it, you know. Sometimes, you can make it in different ways. And then after that, again, you can add the chia seeds to that. And then you're gonna have time for your snack, which is hummus, baby carrots, cucumbers. Something that I love is I love cucumbers. So there's been times when I don't want the hummus. I'm too full. So what I'll do is I'll cut up cucumbers and I'll put lemon and I'll put sea salt and I snack on that. And it's so refreshing and it's so good. I don't know if you guys have done that, but I love that snack. I love, love, love that snack. And then you have your, celery sticks if you like. And I love celery sticks as well by themselves. So I think people either love it or they don't care for it, but I love celery sticks. So then, like I said, you can have your snacks. And then for dinner, all right, you're going to have a choice. Just like days 1 through 10, you choose one and you stick to it. Okay. Because when people see it on the menu, they start going back and forth. But remember, you want your body just to be having the same thing. So then you just you pick lentils, you get lentils. If you pick quinoa and veggies, you choose, you stick with that. Same thing with this dinner. All right. So this is where I get a lot of questions from people is on this part because it says salmon, chicken, or shrimp. All right. It doesn't mean that you can have all three or you can, skip out because they feel like they have choices. So what you're going to do is you're either going to pick chicken. If you don't like salmon, you're going to pick chicken. If you don't like chicken, then you can have, or you're tired of it because of lunch, you can have salmon or you can have shrimp. You pick one protein. All right. And then you're going to pair that with a sweet potato. All right. Sweet potato, mine is, I don't know the ounces, but it's just a regular. Now I've seen some massive ones, like really big ones at the grocery store. I don't have that one. Yeah, they're huge. I don't have that one because first of all, it's gonna be very heavy for me when I go to sleep. So I get some that they're small. They're a good size. And then unless but for males, I do tell them for males, they can have the big sweet potato because males are gonna need more, especially tall. I've had some guys in here saying I'm 6'3", I need this. So especially for people that need more food, then that big sweet potato is fine. Now, sweet potato, you can put olive oil in it. You can put something that's very yummy that I tried. And this last reset that I did was coconut oil. It's really good. It gave it a different taste. Now it's a little bit, so you're not putting a lot of oil. Just put a little bit of coconut oil and you can have cinnamon. All right. So I love that because I made like a little, it's one of the like a sweet potato casseroles. I don't know, you know how they have those at in Thanksgiving, except without the marshmallows, of course. But I just mashed it up and I put the coconut oil, sea salt, and the cinnamon, and it was delicious. All right, so pick one protein, chicken, salmon, or shrimp, and then you can have your sweet potato. All right, as the way I'm saying, condimented the way I've told you guys. And then if you're still hungry after that, you can have the shake. Again, same rules. 3 hours before bed. Make sure you're staying hydrated. For if you're always hydrated, it's hard to really be hungry on this. Unless you're an athlete, which I've put the athletes through this, or have a high, high, high metabolism, which I've had that as well. Then you have choices. You have the snacks. You have and especially cucumbers are really good because they're high in fiber. They're filling. They will hydrate you. So now cucumbers, I usually tell people not to eat them after 3 o'clock, just because they're hard to digest and you might have trouble if when you go to bed. Now, if you go to bed late at 11 or something like that, then you can. I wouldn't say no later than 5. Okay, unless you take out the peel and you just have the inside that's different. But I like having them with the the peel outside. And if I have those late, I'm gonna have a hard time. My stomach starts hurting because it's very hard to digest. And like I said, we don't want to be digesting at night. We want to be cleansing. Okay. So that's real quick on the 21-day liver reset. And I'm going to go really, really fast on the 5-day reboot. Okay. The 5-day reboot is what is it for? It can be done before a reset or in between resets. Okay. Or let's say somebody never decides not to do their reset ever, then they can reboot every month. Now, the purpose of the reboot is give you 5 days of structure. It gives you an anti-inflammatory diet. You're not going to be hungry. You're eating all day long. You have good foods, but it's all anti-inflammatory foods. And most people, and this is more focused, it has nothing to do with the liver. It's not gonna, it has, they're very different programs. The 5-day reboot is more like, let's say you want structure in your life, like, "Oh, I've been eating terrible. I've been having a lot of cookies. I've been having ice cream every day. I need to get back on track." That's what it's for. I just need to get back on track for healthy habits. That's why it's wonderful for a maintenance program. Like, I like to reboot at the beginning of each month. Keeps me on track. And I'm like, okay, I have a schedule now. Because a lot of the people, it's just schedule. I have a lot of people that say, I eat healthy. I don't know why I'm having health problems. But when I tell them to write down everything they're eating, they start noticing, oh yeah, okay. They start, oh yeah, I did have the sourdough bread and then I had it again. Then after that I paired it with something else. They start, once you start seeing it all, you're like, okay, I can see why I lost a little bit control on my meal plan. Now, I'm not saying to take away your joy. If you like chocolate, ice cream once in a while, that's fine. It's all about balance. 80-20, 80% clean eating, and then the 20% you can go out and have fun and eat your cake, right? So the 5-day reboot is for that. Helps people get structure, but it also helps people lose weight. Okay, now typical, everybody's results vary, but typical what I'm seeing is up to 5 pounds in 5 days. All right. And you're, like I said, it's not a starvation diet. So it's not because you're eating less, it's just the body's getting rid, it's an anti-inflammatory diet. So up to 5 pounds, I've had people lose 8 pounds. I've had people lose, well, right now, the people I've done it, nobody has lost less than 5. Okay. Now, can you lose 3? Sure. But right now, the people that have gone through it, it's been reported 5 and up. Okay. So it's more like, if you don't need to lose weight, then this is not, the 5-day reboot is not for you. But the 21-day liver reset will be. 21-day liver reset is whether you need to lose weight or not. It's for healthy people. My husband is 9% body fat. Okay. He's one of the healthiest people that I know. I see him. I'm like, how in the world are you not absorbing? Like, I don't understand. And the doctor said, everybody, we all have a liver, and we all, like, got, who knows, like, what else, maybe when he was younger, I don't know. But the thing is that his liver was clogged. So my husband, he's actually a vegetarian. Like I said, he was not absorbing. So this is for people, even if you think you're at your optimal health, it's always good to just give that love to your liver, right? Even if you, like I said, even if you don't need to lose weight, the 21-day reset is for everyone above 18. I've had some 16-year-olds do it, but it's always with the guidance of a parent, but it's really good, for us to just, there's so much out in the environment, there's so much in our soil, there's so much in our food. It's just always good to give our body that rest. But if you don't need to lose weight, then the 5-day reboot is not for you. Unless, like I said, unless you're disorganized with like, you need structure. Some people really need to know what to eat, and those 5 days will kind of give you, okay, gives me an idea on how to eat on a daily basis. Okay. So do we have any questions? Or did I skip over anything that maybe you wanted to have something specific? Or are there any questions that people are asking you when you talk about a reset? No? No questions, no comments?
Yeah. I really liked Rossmery, what you were said at the very, very beginning, because with the
Mm-hmm.
liver reset, it's preparing the ground for what is to come.
Yeah,
We forget about that. That's so important when we introduce to people the
yeah,
21 day.
absolutely. I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, I said, you've tried all these other things, but have you ever thought about preparing your body? And not only remember, not everybody's using glycans. Not everybody, unfortunately. I think everybody should. But once they get in the ecosystem, once they try the liver reset, they're like, wow. And when I tell them that it's a lot of it has to do with the glycans that we have in our supplements, then they're even more wowed, right? But I tell anybody, anything that you do, any program that you follow, anything that you're preparing for, it's really good to prepare the ground. Start at a good baseline. And
Mhm. Yeah, it
that's
makes
why the liver
absolute,
reset, yeah,
yeah,
that's why it's so
makes a lot
powerful.
of sense. Yeah, absolutely. Deanna, you've unmuted yourself. Do you have a question then for Rosemary?
Yes, I
Have you
do.
started yours? Have you started,
No,
Deanna? You
no,
haven't. Okay.
I haven't been, I mean, I'm having some stenosis issues, so I I'm working on it, but I was thinking of just going right into the 21 day, but I'll probably in my situation, I probably should do the 5 day first.
Um, Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think it'd be good. You can go ahead and go into the 21 day. The
Mhm.
5 day reboot is usually for people who are not ready or they're skeptical or they're like, oh, that's a big commitment, but
Oh, no,
it's
no,
not a
no.
precursor. It's not necessary to do that. You know what I mean? It's more that. It's more like, okay, if I can do this for 5 days and I can handle 10 days, because 11 through 21 is really easy. And are you in the chat?
Yes, yes, I
Okay,
am. Okay.
great. That's an excellent place to ask all the questions, any doubts,
Okay.
anything. And
Okay.
it doesn't matter what it is, you put it in there. Even if it
Okay.
sounds odd or you think, I don't want to be negative. No, we answer everything in there because it's very important that
Okay.
that you go
Thank
through this, that you're comfortable and that you understand what's going on in your body. It's very important. When people
you.
understand what's going on in their bodies, they're more comfortable and the body relaxes. You'd be surprised. The body's like, okay, this is normal. I'm okay. But if we start, keeping all of our questions to ourselves, and a lot of
No,
times we
no.
afraid. Yeah. So just let us know. We'll be with you, cheering you on every
Great.
step of the way.
Can I have one more question?
Yeah, absolutely. You can have all the questions.
Chia, um, I didn't realize you could put that in the foods.
Yes.
Chia seeds? Yeah, and then you put that on your salad as well, did you say? Or in the
I put mine and it's a teaspoon. Unless people who are underweight, I tell them to go ahead and do a tablespoon. I'll put it in my salad, I'll sprinkle it on there, or I'll put it in the
okay.
True Cleanse.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I'll put it in the True Cleanse. I love it like that. And I made like a slushy with chia, and it's a cool little dessert, and it was very filling.
Mhm.
That time I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna eat my snacks because that really filled me up with the chia seeds.
Okay.
And it's not a
Okay.
whole lot, because they expand.
Right.
Now that we talk of chias, though, some people ask me if they should soak them. I don't, but I know some people prefer that or they think it's better for them, and it's fine. You can
Can try both
100%
ways.
soak them. Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
you're
And thank you,
welcome.
Shirley, for noticing that. Thank you.
You're
You're welcome,
absolutely
Deanna.
welcome.
Glad you're on. Glad you're on. Carol, you're unmuted. Did you have a question also for Rossmery?
I think Carol's been unmuted, but she's quiet as a mouse. I didn't hear anything coming from
She
her mic.
is. No. Oh, maybe she's away or something. Yeah. Maybe she's doing something else. Yeah, this has been wonderful, Rossmery. It was good to come
Awesome.
back in and take some more notes because things have changed a little bit, little new tidbits and stuff. And
Yeah,
because I've got one gal who's going to be starting soon. So then I got more information for her when she does
there you go.
start too. So it's very
Yeah.
helpful. Thank you so much for your
You're
time.
absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Yes.
See,
Thanks,
I'll see you
Rosemary.
back
Take
I'll
care.
see you back in the chat.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Good
Bye.
night.
Right.
Good night.